How old is the Bible? The exact date of when biblical texts were written is still in question, but now researchers at Tel Aviv University think they may have an answer. Using high-tech handwriting analysis inscribed on shards of pottery show the Bible may have been written earlier than previously believed, as well as the fact that it was written by at least 6 authors. And with us in studio is PhD candidate in applied mathematics for Tel Aviv University, Barak Sober. Thank you much for being with us. Barak, you took part in this research, correct? Yeah. Can you describe the process of what you did in order to come to these conclusions?
Okay, so we took a remote site in Tel Arad, which is in the outskirts, in the desert down south, about 4 or 5 days walk from Jerusalem, which is the capital. And that site, we took about 16 inscriptions that were found there, and they're dated approximately to 600 BC. And we started to play a forensics game. And we've asked the computer how many different hands actually can we find there. And we found 4 by the computer and 2 supplementary hands, different hands by the context of the letters. And the letters are about military commands, but daily commands, like supply this and this bread and wine to that unit. Some are talking about movement of troops.
And how did you relate this back to biblical texts?
So what we were targeting actually was not the biblical text directly, but the literacy rates. So we found out that you see, well, the commander of the Southern Front, or very high official, and you see the commander of the fort, and lastly you see the quartermaster, and even the vice quartermaster can read and write. So if the vice quartermaster can read and write, it probably means that the literacy was quite well spread throughout the kingdom.
And very quickly, we're almost out of time, but what wider implications can this technology have in the world?
Well, this technology can help in the forensic science, but what I think the main thing is that we attack the question of literacy from an empirical point of view rather than discussion about the biblical text and the supplementary text outside of the Pentateuch and all that. So we just have an empirical proof of literacy, of quite significant literacy rates at that time.
Learning more about our history as we advance in technology. Barak Sober, thank you much for being with us.
Thank you.